Hey everybody, it's Brett and welcome back to my channel where today I want to discuss the Booker Shortlist, which is going to be coming out this week. Very excited about it. I want to talk about what I would like to see on the list and what I think will be on the list. So stick around. All right, so let me talk quickly about the list overall. I have read the majority of them. Here's where I'm kind of at my standing. Land and Winter, I'm more than halfway through with this, and I'm really enjoying. So I feel like I could speak pretty succinctly about this. I have not read yet Misinterpretation, which for me is the one that's the lowest priority. This is one I'm definitely not going to get to before. And Ben Markovitz's The Rest of Our Lives. Let me hold it up that way. So those are the two that I haven't touched at all. Sonia and Sunny, I am doing on audio right now, and I'm really enjoying, but again, won't have finished this by the time this shortlist comes out, but still know enough to have a pretty good vibe on this one. All right, so what should I do first? Okay, so the first will be what I would like to see on my personal shortlist, and then I'll talk about what I think is what is going to be chosen for the shortlist. All right, so let's just dive into it. The first is Flashlight by Susan Choi. I really loved this. It was a complete slow burn of a book for me, and I listened to a lot of this on the way up, driving up from the Pacific Northwest, which was great. But the way that she took her time laying all this out, I think it's so well crafted. I think it's such an incredible book in terms of character, the way she's playing with memory and collectively people's pasts, how it informs their lives in the present and in the future. I just thought this was great. So that's the first. Second, Sea Scraper by Benjamin Wood. Adored this book. And I marveled at it the way I marvel at like Claire Keegan in terms of the brevity of the writing and everything that he conveyed in such a slip of a novel. But the story of this young boy who lives with his mother, who's like 18 years old and been living with his mother, doesn't know his father, has taken over his grandfather's job as a sea scraper, picking up, shrimp out of the ocean and longing for something else for his life, who's also burning to be a musician. Oh my God, it was so beautiful. This story about wanting more and how do you escape from the kind of the walls that are around you and the life that you've known and to break out into something larger. And dreams, just beautiful book. If this doesn't make the shortlist, I'm going to be really disappointed. And this could be the one that can, break my heart. There's always one I feel that doesn't make the shortlist that you're sure that will, and this should, but might not. But I loved it. Flesh by David Zalé. I'm so glad that this was on the Booker long list, because I don't know that I would have read it necessarily, but I'm so glad I did. And I remember before finding out that Sarah Jessica Parker was a judge, on social media, on Instagram, one day she posted a picture and said something like, books for the weekend. And this was the book that was sticking out of her bag. And so when they announced that she was a judge, I thought, I wonder if that's going to be on there. And sure enough, but I don't know. This examination of masculinity and revolving around this man who kind of in so much of his life there's a certain passivity about him, with a life that's punctuated by these bursts of violent things that kind of happen, and how that propels him to the next level. And I don't know, I just thought it was captivating and a really fascinating examination of men. So I think this will make it, but I loved it. I'm doing this on audio, so not very far in, but really enjoying. But I don't know how you would ever think that she's not going to get to the short list, having won the Booker Prize before. But it's epic. It is that, seminal kind of classic book. And frankly, I'm surprised that this isn't also up for the National Book Award. I think it's a crime that it's been left off. But talk about virtuoso storytelling. It's great. It's great. And then, okay, this is the flyer for me. And I know this is because I haven't finished it yet. And yet, I know, unless it really derails itself in this last half, this is going to be one of my favorites of the list, which is The Land in Winter by Andrew Miller. I didn't know really anything about this book when I started, and I would almost say if you're going to read this or haven't started this or going to read this, don't know anything going in. I love the way this story is revealing itself. I love these characters. I can't wait to see where it goes. I'm in. I'm captivated, and it's everything that I love in a book and beautiful writing. So I think for me, this is one of the tops. Okay, so I have one more, and that is, I don't have a copy of it, is Endling, which I listened to this on audio. And this is such a controversial pick because it's you either love it or you hate it, and people are like, why is it here? And yet for me, it worked. All of it worked. The storytelling, the metafiction part of it, the war in Ukraine, the kind of mail order brides. There was so much going on, and when it first started, I was like, this is wacky. Snails, like so many things, but it all worked, and it was such a ride. And the metafiction part of it to me brought such a immediacy and relevance to the war in Ukraine that I loved it. So those are my 6, my personal choices. Now, what do I think that the judges are going to pick, and how do they vary from what I've picked? Okay, working backwards, here is what I think will be on the short list from the judges. Again, don't know how it's not. This would be huge if it's not, but I think it will be. I think this is going to make the shortlist. He's been there before, and it's just such an interesting, well-crafted story. I think this is going to be on their shortlist. I think this is also going to be on the shortlist. I'll be really surprised if it doesn't make it. Oh, and I think Endling is going to be there as well. And Endling can be the dark horse that takes this whole thing. It's not my personal favorite of the whole group, but I wouldn't be surprised to see it and people like freaking out because it gets it. People who hate it. And the people who hate it really hate it. But I just think it's interesting storytelling, interesting story. It breaks with form. There's just so many parts of it that feel so kind of in this world and in this wheelhouse. All right, and the last 2 for me that I think they'll pick. Okay, so I was tossing this up between Universality and Audition, and I've gone back and forth on this. And ultimately, I think it's going to be Audition. And I know I'm thinking, well, why Audition versus Universality? I just feel like Katie Kitamura's craft and the way that she's telling this story and the experimental nature of the book, it's just, it seems like a, how do I explain this? I could say it like this. It seems like a book that would be a Booker Shortlist title just because of what it is, and it kind of screams that. The same way that I think Endling does too. We're like, conversely, Love Forms by Claire Adam. Beautiful book, really lovely story, but a few people have said, and I agree with it, this feels like a book that would be on the Woman's Prize list and well-merited, but it doesn't necessarily feel like a Booker Prize book to me. So it's just that kind of feeling. It's like in casting when someone says, how do you know the difference between someone who is like, we say, oh, they're like a guest star actor versus that's a series regular. It's just an intangible thing where you feel it like this person could be a star and this person is a really good actor who could go on doing guest spots forever. And some of these books to me are the Booker star and others aren't. That's the simplest way I could say it. So, okay, I think it will be, Audition. And I think the last book, I'm just going to take a flyer, is going to be The Land in Winter. and this will be their last choice. Yeah, I'm sticking with this. That's going to be it. Who the hell really knows anyway? Do you know what I mean? And that's all the fun of this, because who knows what they're thinking? And clearly, I'm not one of those people who, go back and read it 2 or 3 times like they do. I'm lucky to get through all of them once, and I'm not even going to by the time this comes out. So anyway, those are my choices for both sides of it. Let me know what you think, or what you agree with or what you don't agree with. I hope you're all doing fantastic. And I will see you all soon. I will not be here for probably the next 2 weeks because I am going to be going away. I'm going to be traveling to Europe. I'm going to be in London. I'm going to be in France. I'm going to be doing a bike trip through the Loire Valley. So if you're on Instagram, check that out, because I'll probably be posting pictures there, but I will not be around for the next few weeks. When I get back, I will post my month of September. I'm also going to come on. I'm putting together now my 10 books that I want to read before the end of the year, as well as fall books that I want to get to that I'm really excited about. So, and of course, there will be new episodes of Behind the Stack. Tuesday's episode will be with author Sam Sussman of The Boy from North Country, which is a phenomenal book. So check that out if you can. Thanks all for being here, and I will see you all soon.